An effort to eliminate the Las Vegas Township Constable, and the Constable could be fueling that effort. Police pulled John Bonaventura over in his government vehicle on the 95 for allegedly driving drunk. It's a charge that he strongly denies, claiming he's been set up. What's more, a local attorney says Bonaventura is overstepping his bounds by suing two fellow constables in Laughlin and Henderson. And with the latest on where that stands, I'm joined right now by the attorney for the Henderson and Laughlin constables, Ross Goodman. Mr. Goodman, welcome. Thanks for coming on Vegas Inc. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, what's the basis of your case?
Well, Johnny Bonaventura sued the Henderson Constable and Laughlin Constable, alleging that they were overstepping their jurisdiction and serving papers within the Vegas Township. And the judge agreed with him initially, granted an injunction. We then went before the Supreme Court. We got the injunction stayed, and now we just filed the opening brief. And basically, everything goes back to the status quo. However, the basis of Johnny Bonaventura's lawsuit was he gets to enforce a statute. He's a county officer suing other county officers, and he's abusing his authority in enforcing a statute that our position is only the Board of Clark County Commissioners has a responsibility to enforce.
Let me ask you a question. It just seems to make sense to me. And I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not the judge who ruled over the summer, and I'm certainly not on the Supreme Court, but it just seems to make sense to me that they should stay within their boundaries. Why does that not make sense to you?
Well, if you think about the nature of service of papers, it's not limited to one township. Henderson Justice Court will issue a writ of garnishment, which more likely than not would have to be served in something township outside of Henderson. So, you know, you may live in Las Vegas but work in Henderson, or the item that needs to be garnished is in one township but needs to be executed on a different township. So that's why our position is that the Clark County Commission has authority to regulate all Clark County officers, and just because they're elected to an individual township does not make them not able to serve in other townships.
Talk to me about the practical effect of the summer ruling that supported Mr. Bonaventura. You represent the Laughlin and the Henderson Constable here. Are they losing business now because of that? I mean, are they really being shut out of a lot of business that they would normally be getting?
Mr. Bonaventura was elected in January of 11. He brought this lawsuit summer of 2012, so 18 months went by, and there was a lot of things in the paper and public scrutiny about his office, and we believe that he's alleging reputational harm, and really the motive behind bringing the lawsuit is because he was losing business. And so he used this injunction as a way to monopolize businesses and individuals who want to use other if you will, competitors or constables to serve their papers.
Let me ask you that we were not able to get a representative from the other side here on the program. Here's the response to your brief, your appeal before the Supreme Court, and basically what they're saying is that you've raised a lot of issues in your appeal that were not frankly present before the district court judge. Supposedly they call it unripe, issues that are not ripe for discussion right now. What's your response to that?
Well, the district court judge didn't allow us to argue a lot of things, and our position is that the district court judge abused his discretion and committed error by issuing an injunction when Johnny Bonaventura sued in his individual capacity and not in his official capacity. He wasn't the real party in interest, and he had no jurisdiction to enforce a statute that the district court judge granted the injunction on.
Let me ask you this question. Obviously, he is back in the news for what happened this past week, a charge he denies, and we'll wait and see how that pans out. What is your take on the abolishment of the office? I mean, do you think that would be a smart thing to do?
Well, he's an elected official. The Clark County certainly has the statutory basis to abolish any office within Clark County, and whether or not they do that is up to the Clark County Commission.
Any sense in terms of timeline on when this issue may be resolved before the Supreme Court?
I anticipate the way that the Supreme Court is reviewing their briefs that we should get a decision this summer.
Ross Goodman, appreciate your time.
Thank you.